Hey there, Aries. Welcome back. Don't forget to click that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. All right. Spirit gives a clear, concise message here for Aries. Death card is the first card out, Aries. So changes, transformation. That's what death is. The ending of something and the beginning of something. You know, a new chapter, closing an old one, starting a new one. That's what death is about. It's also about changes. Lots and lots of changes. Changes could be anything. Changes could be inside of yourself, which is what I'm thinking it is. Changes of inside of yourself, mental changes, you freeing yourself, thinking freely, standing up for yourself here with the Nine of Wands energy. Standing up for yourself, protecting yourself, being cautious, maybe changing your mind about a situation and becoming more and more aware or becoming more and more cautious about a situation, right? Holding on to things here. We do have the Four of Coins coming out with the Lovers. So this could be about you holding on to somebody, a relationship, or this could be you holding on to material things and putting your life on the right track, right? There could be some inner conflict going on here. Of course, anytime you're changing, it's because there's some kind of external. People don't just change to change, okay? Usually there's an external force that forces people to change, and it looks like you've had somebody around you who has tried to pull you down, get into your head, make you feel trapped. We also have the Eight of Swords over here as well. So you've had somebody around you really try to hold you down. Okay, this is somebody that you've definitely had some arguments with, some fights with, and this is somebody who has definitely tried to stab you in the back, trying to hold you down mentally, okay? But no, you didn't. You got back up. And that's the whole thing about life. It's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get back up. That's what matters, right? You overcame everything. I'm going to tell you right now. It looks like you found your freedom here. We have the Four of Swords. I think this person tried to exhaust you. Queen of Cups. What else? Tried to exhaust you. Tried to make you feel bad. This is somebody who could be very ugly and selfish. Or this could be somebody who's saying that you're ugly and selfish because, how dare you? How dare you free yourself, mentally free yourself? How dare you think that you could be so free and open? Because this could be somebody who wanted you to overthink things, like constantly be stressing out and thinking and thinking and thinking, and, where you can't think about anything else. Or you can't move on from that one thing and you just keep thinking about it, obsessed about something. They wanted you to be stuck in your head so you wouldn't be able to focus on the here and now. Because anytime you're stuck in your head, guess what happens? You can't focus on the here and now because your brain is somewhere else. So physically, you could be anywhere. You could be even watching a movie in the movie theater, but if your mind is somewhere else, you're not really getting to enjoy that movie. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this person is doing these things or they're trying to do these things to you because they want to like steal your joy from you. Steal the joy that you have in your life, right? I'm seeing here that this person doesn't know what to do with you. You have somebody around you who's very selfish. Could be a Libra, could be a mother figure, an aunt, a female, family member, or an ex. Could be an ex too, right? But this is definitely somebody who's all about them. Very selfish person. Could be really mean. Okay, and for one of you, this could be a mother, which is really sad, but a mother figure, yeah. Now, for one of you, I'm hearing that you have been really silent about things. Like maybe you haven't been voicing your opinion. You just been keeping things to yourself, right? Not really telling this person what's going on. in your life or what's going on in your head, and this person sees it as a crisis. You know, like this is a huge crisis because they don't know what's going on in your head. They can't figure you out, you know? And it's a crisis. It's something that they need to crush or prevent you from thinking for yourself. Now, for one of you, this person sees you, they see you as a very independent thinker, and people do not like independent thinkers. People like people, or they want people to be sheep. Okay? They want people to be told what to think. And they want to be the one to tell that person what to think or tell you what to think. But you're a very independent person, an independent thinker, and that means they don't have control over you. That means you could go off and do things that they can only imagine ever doing, or maybe not even imagine doing because they're so busy being a sheep. A lot of times, people who are sheep tend to like other sheeps. You know what I mean? They like other people who are going to be followers just like them because it relieves them of accountability. You know what I mean? If you're a sheep and you just follow, that means you just you just shrug your shoulders and be like, "Well, I was following this person and I was doing what they told me to do," and that's it. They don't have to take accountability because they're just following along with the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Without thinking for themselves. When you start thinking for yourself, that means you're a strong person, and that means you're the kind of person who will take accountability. And if things fall apart, then you just take responsibility for things falling apart. And it takes a certain kind of person to be able to do those things, and that could be very intimidating to other people, such as this person. You know what I mean? So that's the conclusion I'm coming to, is that you actually make this person feel inferior. You intimidate this person because this person cannot handle and they cannot control how you think. And it's not just that. They can't follow your chain of thought. Like they cannot follow how you think because you're the way that you think, Aries, is so far out there. You know what I mean? Like the way that you think is like, woo, like they can't even go there. Okay? And this is why they cannot keep you down. Okay? And this could be even why you had to break up with this person. Because we do have the Two of Cups coming out in reverse. So this could be somebody that you had to break up with because they just couldn't handle that you think differently. You might think differently than the crowd. For one of you, you could be a prepper, okay? And this person just could not follow your thinking. And this might be something that happened, like 5 years ago. Let's see, 8 years ago, even 10 years ago, okay? Like they just could not follow your thinking of how you could see things that they couldn't see. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Somebody here is definitely suffering from this, and I feel like it's them. They're the one that is suffering. They wanted you to suffer, and now I'm hearing it wasn't you that suffered. Yeah, maybe you suffered for a little while, but you're not the one that's suffering now. I'm hearing it's them. They're the one that is suffering now. This person didn't trust your thinking. I bet you when people first met Einstein, before everybody knew that he was a genius, I bet you anything that he went through very similar situations where people possibly tried to make him feel like he was crazy, or make him feel like he was the oddball, or make him feel inferior, or try to make him feel inferior, right? This person did not trust your way of thinking. This is why this person had to do something to break you down or try to break you down, because it looks like y'all had some arguments. Okay. And this might be for one of you. Do take what resonates. This is a general reading. So, and it looks like there was some kind of argument here. And it was because this person was trying to insert some kind of dominance on you. Since they couldn't follow your thinking, their way of handling the situation is trying to control you by doing some really shady stuff to you, right? Make you like hit you emotionally. That's what I'm hearing. Trying to cause you some kind of mental grief. And yeah, it worked, for a little while. There was some mental grief on your part, but you freed yourself from it. You didn't stay in that energy very long, That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing also that you learned or you practiced self love. It takes a certain kind of person to be able to do this mentally the way that you have, especially when you're still in the environment. When you're still in the environment that has caused you some kind of grief, and you're still able to self soothe yourself, and you're still able to love on yourself and basically heal yourself and nurse yourself back, that is that is like a next level. You know what I'm saying? That's like a next level of genius or self-preservation that this person cannot understand. They don't understand how you're able to do this. And this is why this person gets more and more angry with you, because they can't understand you or how you are able to think the way that you think. This person might have even wanted you to let go of something, release something. This could be like possessions or property or finances or something like that. They don't understand how you were able to be so brave. See, while they're afraid all the time and they walk around in their life full of fear, you do the opposite. You just take care and control yourself and control your own emotions, and you don't walk around in fear. There's one thing to be worried about something, and then there's another thing to be afraid. And I see here, Aries, you are not afraid. Maybe you're concerned about things, but you're not afraid. And this person is afraid. They're always afraid because this person is a sheep. hmm They're a sheep. Hmm. This person thought that they could force you into being generous with them, that you were going to get up and do something and give them something, or you were going to share something that you have accumulated with them, and they were going to like force you into it. Something's growing in momentum. They thought that they were getting some good traction with you, like they were actually going to force you into giving them something here. It could be money. Oops. Yeah, it could be money. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. You're coming out in this reading as being somebody who is very stable, very mature, very stable. You're not easily shaken. This had to be somebody that was really close to you, somebody that you loved, maybe even a soulmate, okay? And that is how this person was able to affect you as much as they have. And that's the only reason why, was because you had love for this person. You were close to this person, you know? But if this person was any blow Joe on the street, they would not have been able to affect you the way that they did. And I think this person really did take advantage of the fact that they knew that you loved them. Unfortunately, you know, unfortunately. Now, now that you have shown this person that you could walk away, Aries, and you have this ability to rebuild yourself up again, now this person wants to come back and give you some kind of offer. It could be commitment. In a very odd way, even though this person has treated you this way, they still admire you for being you, for being the person that you are, to even the way that you think. There is a level of admiration here, but also fear. They admire you that you have the brain that you do, but at the same time, they are afraid of it because it's like everybody is a sheep, and then there you are. What are you? You know what I'm saying? because they're like, okay, we're sheep. So then what does that make Aries? And in their mind, they're thinking, well, then you must be the wolf in sheep's clothing, or you must be the wolf, you know what I'm saying? That surrounds the sheep, right? It's just the way that their brain is thinking. So that's why they attacked you, or they're attacking you now. And it's because of that. Because in their brain, you're not one of them. You're not a follower. So then what are you? You know what I'm saying? So you might be the oddball. And when we say the oddball, we always have this negative, there's always this negative feeling toward that people have, like, oh, that's the oddball. But you know what? Being the oddball is not always a bad thing. Actually, more often than not, it's actually a good thing. You know, I'm sure that Einstein was the oddball. Most people who are geniuses are the oddball. Most people who are really smart. Have you ever been to like a high school reunion or something like that? And the person who was the oddball, the one that was the person who was like, a lot of times by themselves, or they were really smart, like into like computers and stuff like that. And then you go to the high school reunion and find out, man, that's the one that is making all this money, and they're rich, and you know what I mean? They own their own company or something like that. You know what I mean? They're always the one that ends up thinking outside the box and living their life differently, and actually ends up being the one that ends up going further than everybody else. While everybody else is running around trying to figure out how they're going to pay off all their debts, that one over there, the one that was the oddball in school, ends up being the one that's paying off their third house. They're like, oh yeah, I'm paying off my third house now, and gonna be buying another house soon, and I'm gonna be starting another company. And it's like, what? And it's always those people. It's always the oddball. It's always the one that thinks outside the box, is the one that ends up being the most successful. Anyways, in this person's mind, they're thinking, if you're not a sheep like them, then what are you? And maybe there is love, for them to you. Maybe they do love you, but then they also fear you at the same time. And when people have fear, they either do two things: they either run or they fight. And it looks like that's what happened here. This person was fighting with you because they're afraid of you, because they're afraid of how you think. That, and really, I think this person never thought that you could walk away from them. You know, they just really thought that you never could have it in you ever to be able to walk away from them. So even though that they did a lot of stuff, a lot of times people do not see what they themselves do. They don't see what they do. Um, and then they're surprised. I actually knew somebody. He was bringing women into his home when his wife was at work. He even had children with other women during his marriage. And get this, he was surprised that his wife didn't want him. He joined the army, and he was surprised that his wife didn't want to go with him to Germany. I was like, okay, but well, anyways, I don't think he knew that I knew all that. But yeah, he was surprised that his wife didn't want to go with him to Germany, even though he had forced. She ended up working two jobs, and I mean, he put her through hell. She was working two jobs, and he was over there spending all his money on other women, and he still didn't see what he was doing. The point is that even that extreme, like him, that was so extreme, people don't see what they do. And I think this person doesn't see what they do, Aries. They don't see that they're being reactive. They don't see that this is their way of fighting. They don't see it. So the fact that you were able to walk away from them, they're shocked. And they're actually questioning why. because according to them, they didn't do very much. They didn't do, they did some things, but not that bad, not bad enough for you to walk away, that kind of thing. But I do feel like this person wants to come back around. Okay. They might even want to reconcile, and this might be for one of you. They might want to reconcile, but unfortunately, this person has not healed yet. Okay. And not just that, but this person is still holding on to fear. So even if you were to get back together with this person, they're still going to be afraid of you because of the way that you think. It's going to be continuing on and on. It's not going to change. And the thing is that you right now, with you coming out in the death card and being in the death energy, right now is a good time for you to manifest anything that you want to do, Aries, because right now there's this high energy of change going on around you anyways. So it's not just a lot of change going on inside of you mentally, but I'm talking about changes financially, changes in your relationships, changes in your career. Right now would be a good time to start manifesting what it is that you want and create those changes for yourself. Mhm. Now, Aries, this could also be a new person coming towards you, just so you know. Somebody who will appreciate how you think. Somebody who won't be intimidated by it. Okay? Could be somebody who's going to be very attractive. And it's going to be somebody who's definitely going to want to give to you, contribute to you, support you, I'm hearing. This could also have something to do, and this might be for some of you as well, but a job offer. Maybe you put in some applications or something and you're going to get the job. Okay. The reason why it looks like it has something to do with the way that you think. Now, the thing about that is that if everybody thought the same and everybody did the same, what happens when that happens? When everybody thinks the same, does the same thing, that means that that person will get less pay, right? Because when you are working with a lot of sheep, that means you always have to tell them what to do next and do this next and do that next. They don't get promoted. You get what I'm saying? So because you think differently and you're an independent thinker, I'm going to tell you something. This could very well be a promotion because CEOs don't think like everybody else. They don't just like wake up one day and get lucky and get that job. No, they get the job because they think differently than everybody else. So don't be surprised if this is not going to be a promotion where you're going to be moved up into some kind of management or a position where you're going to be in charge. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And for you, this is a new person. I see a new person coming toward you. Could be another fire sign, maybe a Leo or a Sagittarius as well. And this is going to be somebody who's going to support you. They're going to really want to work with you here. Work with you and push you up the ladder. That's what I'm hearing. Because I see you. I see you. I see you embracing more money, embracing abundance. So it means money is coming toward you. Money is coming in your near future, and it is coming because of the way that you think. Yeah. All right, Aries. I think I'm gonna go ahead and close this reading here. Catch me in the next one. I just so you do know, I do see a new beginning here. Okay, you do have the Hermit card coming out, and it has something to do with the way that you're thinking. You standing back and really observing, being very observant. You could be the kind of person who walks in a grocery store and just like boom, you can notice things quickly, like, oh, they changed this, that got changed. There's two lights out in the back. There's, you could just like accept, what's the word? Assess the situation, that kind of thing very quickly. I do see a new beginning, new thoughts, new ideas, guys, and we do have the Ace of Swords coming out, so new plans, new ideas, things that are going to serve you very well. I would definitely go with that. And some kind of news, good news coming in with that energy. I feel like it might be job related because we do have the Knight. The Knight of Cups is coming out twice in this energy, so I feel like this is like a job opportunity and somebody coming to you romantically, wanting to get romantic with you. So I feel like it's both at the same time. Okay, I do feel like this communication that you're going to be coming in, that you have coming in here, um, it's going to be something that you manifested. Definitely, we do have the Magician card that's coming out with the Ace of Swords over here. So it's definitely something that you've been manifesting yourself. Something that you're bringing into the 3D because you wanted it. So, Aries, I'm hearing you're going to be getting something that you've been wanting. So, this could be that person, or this could be the job. It could be anything, really. Okay. Anyways, guys, catch me in the next one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Y'all take care. Y'all be careful. Bye bye. I was going to say something else, but it's okay.